Okay, so my goal in this video was to show you guys how to use some of the basic options in Excel. These are just some things that I've learned over the last couple of years of teaching, and I thought that all of them could help you in this class project with regards to the presentation of it, the organization of it, and probably could help you in the future in any Excel project that you do outside the classroom even. So I've got my data stored on a sheet in Excel, and the one thing that you might want to do in this project is we keep going back to the same data, once exponentially, once power. Okay, so the sheets at the bottom of the screen kind of help you to organize your information. So right now I've called this sheet linear, and I did that just by double clicking on that where it says sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and if I go to sheet 3 I have a blank sheet there. But let's say I want to take this sheet, and if I right click I can move or copy, create a copy of that linear sheet. So create a copy of that linear sheet, and now at the bottom of my screen I've got another sheet that says linear. Let's double click on this, and let's say we call this power. So again, I could do that, create a copy, and let's call this one exponential. And all I've done is I've just duplicated the sheet so that now I can do any work on linear, and then when I go to power I'll have a blank sheet here. When I go to exponential I'll have a blank sheet here. So let's suppose for a second that we wanted to do the exponential regression. Okay, so we want to find the ln of our y's and plot them on our x's. So really all we need is we need to create a category that's the ln of the number of stores. Okay, up here I can wrap text, okay, which is going to include all of that into one cell, and I want to obviously make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and if I want to make it bold I can make it bold. Now I've lost some of my information. Let's make my cell a little bit bigger. Okay, so here's where I'm going to allow Excel to find the ln of the stores for me. I'm going to just type equals ln parenthesis of B2, close parenthesis, hit enter. Okay, so that's the ln of my y value. I'm going to go to this bottom square in the bottom right hand corner, left click, drag down, and all it's going to do is it's applying the same operation, but it's moving down in cells. So this is B3, B5, B6, B7, etc. So now I'd like to create a scatter plot. I want to create a scatter plot of these values in the C column versus the values in the A column. So I'm just going to insert a scatter plot. Okay, now you'll notice this scatter plot is blank right now. Okay, so now I'm going to select my data. Alright, and I'm going to add. Okay, and let's call this series name ln of stores on year. Okay, now for the x values, okay, so notice how my cursor is in the x values. I'm going to left click on the first numerical value to the last numerical value. Okay, and for y, okay, I'm going to clear out what's in there, and I'm going to left click on the first numerical value to the last numerical value. I'm just going to move this over here and just look around here. So you know what, that's exactly what I expect my plot to look like, so I'm okay with that. Click OK, OK, and there's my scatter plot. Okay, I can label the scatter plot by clicking on the plot. Alright, and under format, or excuse me, under layout rather, okay, axis title. So let's title the primary horizontal axis. Let's just go with year. Okay, and then axis title the primary vertical axis. It's really up to me which way I'd like to do this. We'll just go with rotated, and I'll write ln of number of stores. Okay, so now I have a really nice plot that really has done a great job of, I've done a great job of labeling that plot. Okay, now if I want to add my trend line, I'll left click, okay, and on the points, right click, add trend line. Okay, I want to display equation, display R squared value on the chart, and notice I have linear here. Now I can mess around with it by changing the line color or the line style, but this is all I'm going to do right now. Okay, I'll click close. There's my trend line. There's my trend equation. There's my R squared value. Unfortunately, Excel won't give you an R value, but that's okay. I can find that out just by using square root. So I'm going to drag this over, and now I want to create my residual plot. So in order to create my residual plot, I need my predicted Y values. Okay, so predicted number of stores. Okay, again, I'm going to wrap text. Alright, and I'm going to set this equal to, alright, so I've got my equation 0.2433 times, okay, what am I plugging in here? I'm plugging in the year, because that's what's on my x-axis here, minus 483.32. I'll hit enter. I'm going to drag those down. Okay, so those are all my predicted Y's. Now my residuals are just my observed Y's minus my predicted Y's. Now when I'm looking for observed Y's, I'm looking for these values. Okay, because these are the observed values in this scatter plot. So I'm just going to go up to F2, make it equal to observed minus predicted. Let's drag that down. Okay, and as I did before, let me make this a little bit smaller. So I'm just trying to shrink this down some a little bit so that my residual plot will be easier to see. Okay, so I'm going to insert another scatter plot. Okay, and on this scatter plot, the data I'm going to select, so I'm going to add. Alright, this is my residuals. Okay, my X values are here, they are the year. My Y values are the residuals, so they are here. Okay, okay. There's our residual plot. Alright, that looks like a great residual plot. Notice that several of you guys have been trying to find the R value of your residual plot. It's a pretty good idea. Just make sure that when you show that your R value is something very close to 0, make sure more importantly that you're paying attention to the potential pattern on the residual plot. That's the more important point here. Okay, so now let's say that I wanted to do some explaining, some writing here, okay, regarding this aspect of the project. So I could just highlight a bunch of cells, okay, merge and center, wrap text, and now I can write whatever I'd like, and it shows up like a Word document. What I may want to do though is I may want to center it on the top and center it in the center. Okay, so I think that I've gone through a lot of what you can do on Excel. I think I've given you guys a very good foundation for this project, and at the same time I hope I've taught you something about using Excel for future projects. Alright? Have a good one.